Welcome to the Romance Podcast, a very special episode of the Romance Podcast.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because you're the birthday boy. You're the birthday boy.
Yeah, you love your birthday more than I love my birthday. Let's put it that way. Like I think
That's not true.
No, it's true because I mean, you still get really excited about your birthday and gifts and all that kind of stuff, and it's really cute and it's endearing. I love the fact that you get excited for those things. Maybe because I'm older, birthdays for me, like I'm more excited. Full disclosure, my son's birthday, Tristan's birthday, is 2 days after mine. I'm more excited for that than I am for my own birthday.
It's like
True.
Potato, tomato. It doesn't matter because...
Potato, tomato?
Tomato. Potato, tomato.
Isn't it potato, potato?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because...
What the... Potato, tomato?
Yeah, potato, tomato.
That's not matter. The saying, though. What the hell was that?
Okay, it doesn't matter because it's like, that's like saying like, oh, whose birthday do you care about? That's not what the game is.
Right.
If your guys' birthday was on the exact same day, I could see why you're like, I default to his. I don't want to take away from his day because he's a kid. I'd be like, oh, I get it. It doesn't matter. Like, you have two different birthdays. We're going to go all out for his birthday. Yours is several days before.
2 days, and it's our birthday weekend. We actually, depending on when you're listening to this podcast, my birthday is on Friday, May 17th. Mm-hmm. Tristan's is Sunday, May 19th. Yes. So we are 2 days away.
And we're going to go balls out for his birthday. Yes. It's going to be awesome. And you're going to have a fun birthday, too, which in no way negatively impacts his. Right. Because his is several days later.
Okay, true.
So it'll be fine.
When the Cubs released their schedule for the season, I was very excited to find out that the Cubs were playing on my birthday at home.
Yeah.
Doesn't always happen that way, but it happened this year. So I told Kenzie, I go, listen, I don't want to do anything except I want to go to the Cubs game on my birthday. It was really weird. Friday games at Wrigley Field are always at 1:20 p.m. This year, the way I saw it was a Friday night game, and I was like, oh, must be for like Apple TV, must be for TV, whatever. So it's a Friday night game. So actually, me and my wife can go to the game, just us, no baby. And I was excited about that because we brought in Marino twice, and it's a different experience when you have a newborn baby at Wrigley Field.
Especially for me, no offense. But
true,
right. They don't even have father's rooms. Like, they have mother's rooms. Yeah. They don't give an F, okay?
It's old school.
They're like, the woman's going to take care of the baby is their opinion there. So a lot of times they end up in the mother's room for a long time between diaper changes, feedings, pumpings, that... I'm gone for a couple innings.
And then I'm sitting there at Wrigley Field in our amazing seats for like 3 to 4 innings by myself.
You have it really tough.
It's sad. I'm very sad about that.
I think you love when we leave because you're about to get hours worth
so anyways, I'm really, really excited because Friday night on my birthday, Cubs game, Wrigley Field, just me and my girl.
And may I jump in?
That's it. Sure.
Okay. So we were talking about it and you're like, well, we'll just bring them because it's hard at this age to get a babysitter because it's very young. It's a structured routine. There's a good, like, they may sleep through the night. They may not sleep through the night. It's a tough age for a babysitter.
I have to say, and he's my son as well, he is a bit tough as a baby for normal people to handle.
He's a baby. So my parents don't live here, so it's already like very challenging.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, we're not bringing him because it is a night game and he starts his bath around 7 and he does get fussy. Like, he's ready for his bath. Yeah. If you turn that water on and he hears it, he starts smiling, even if he's currently crying. He loves that. And I go, this is going to be really bad if he's going to go to bed 4 or 5 hours later than he's used to. Yeah. Like, I go, I just don't think this is a good idea. So I even set something up. I got someone to watch the baby. I was like, don't worry about it. I got it handled. It's going to be awesome. We're going to go. And full disclosure, because it was a night game, I planned a really fun day for your birthday also.
Oh, a fun day. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So I had a lot of really fun stuff scheduled because we weren't going to leave for the game till about 5 o'clock that night. That's when the babysitter showed up. So I was really excited and I was trying to figure out what we could do and I had all this stuff mapped out and I just couldn't wait to take you on your fun birthday, like, all-day venture.
And it would have been my first Cubs game of the year without any kids, because I went with you and Marino twice. I brought Tristan, I think, to 2 games as well.
Yep.
And I love that. I love the family experience. It's really, really cool. But there is something about, like, being at a Cubs game, because I'm a diehard Cubs fan, watching the game without worrying about, like, bottles and, crying and stuff. Yeah. It's a different experience when it's just, like, 2 adults.
Yes. And we were like, we should drink. We should.
Yeah, you were like, we should drink. Yeah.
I know, we should, like, have alcohol when we go. Yeah, Does that sound fun?
You wanted to go to Old Crow Smokehouse afterwards and have some drinks because you had, like, a babysitter lined up and everything. Yes. So, all right. So, remember earlier in this episode, I said it was very weird that the Cubs were having a night game on a Friday because it's always 1:20 on Friday afternoons. That's why I thought it was weird. But I'm calling my buddies. I'm like, yeah, dude, Friday night, me and Kenzie, we're doing the Cubs game, going to Old Crow afterwards. Like, I really firmly believed it was a Friday night game. And what happened?
So as I was planning his birthday extravaganza and getting certain things lined up, I went online, I don't even know why, and looked at the schedule. And I'm like, wow.
That's smart.
I don't see a Friday night game, like, anywhere. And I was like, is it maybe, like, not listed? Because for all I know, this thing was rained out. Now it's got scheduled as a double header. Because I see a 1:20 game on Friday. And I dug. And about 20 minutes later, I'm like, I don't think it should be this hard to find a game at Wrigley Field. And I realized Thursday was at 6:40.
Yeah, tonight, right.
And so I texted you. It was about 5 a.m. I was already at work.
Yeah.
And I go, hey, babe, I remember specifically having a conversation with you about the game being on Friday night. Like, I know I didn't make this up because we talked about if we should bring him because of bedtime. Yep. So I know I'm not remember this wrong.
For sure.
I don't see a Friday night game. So did you by chance get tickets to either Thursday at 6:40 or Friday at 1:20?
Yeah, so I wake up, and that's the first text I see, obviously, is you. I only text, actually, because who's texting me at 5 in the morning? And I'm like, what the hell? So I look at the ballpark app and everything, and no, I have tickets for my birthday, May 17th, at 1:20 p.m. in the afternoon. Now, yeah, so here, let me, a little, how do you say it, like a macro look at this thing is we're season ticket holders. So from the very beginning of the season, when the tickets get delivered, I then are like, okay, I want to go to these 5 games. We're going to sell the rest or whatever it is. And I'm like putting them in a spreadsheet and I'm doing times and what team they're playing, the price point, all that. So I'm doing all this stuff and like, I'm pretty good at it. So I thought it was weird. Friday night games, 6:40 on a Friday night, but like whatever. Clearly I mislabeled it. And no, I have tickets for my birthday, May 17th, but I mislabeled the time. It truly is not a night game. It is a 1:20 p.m. afternoon game. I gotta say, normally I do things the right way and I don't mess up. I messed up on my birthday. I was wrong. Very, very wrong.
Yeah, it was, it really sucked for me. I had spent an abnormal amount of time figuring out what we could do all day for your birthday.
Sucks. I'm so sorry.
And boy, did I have a special day planned. So I had to cancel more than one thing.
Yeah.
And then figure out what we should do. And at first I was like, well, I guess we don't need a sitter. And I'm like, you know what? Forget that. So we're going to the game with the baby. So I guess we're
bringing the baby to the game, which is, I'm excited.
I'll be in the mother's room again. Woo. But you know what? I want to go out for your birthday. I want to have that night out. We already have somebody lined up. Like, we're freaking going out. It's still your birthday night, even if it's just dinner. But I found something also very fun to do Friday night. So we're doing dinner and something else.
Really? So
yes.
This podcast is obviously being recorded on Thursday. So the new episodes on Thursdays. I don't know what this is yet. I don't know what the surprise is. But I want to ask you this question. Was it better with the stuff you had during the day and it being a night game? Or is it better now with like the day game and the stuff you have at night?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think both were, because I had a great day planned.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like, oh, good, because this was going to suck.
Right. No, for sure.
I had such a good day planned. It was more work to do it, to find out stuff twice.
Right, but what's the better option? Did I somehow like save my birthday and make it better now?
Save your birthday. You're a pain in the ass. Well, it depends who you want, because I don't like. We're not gonna, end up at Tao now. Like we may have.
Oh yeah, we were gonna go to Tao, weren't we?
I was gonna go. I was gonna be on tables.
You were more excited about the night game without the baby because we're gonna go out in the mean streets of Wrigleyville afterwards.
Yeah, we're gonna go out and about, baby. We're not doing that anymore, but we're still gonna have a lot of fun.
So honestly, we joke around a lot. I felt really, really bad because it's not like I'm very organized. You call me anal, but I'm very organized. We have a calendar. I put things in the calendar. I invite you. Like literally when there's work events for Kenzie's Q101 station, right? She will text me and be like, hey, put this in the calendar. Like, it has nothing to do with me, but like her calendar is like, I'm the one doing it. I'm almost like your secretary, you know, like I have it all organized and everything.
You're my husbandager.
Yeah, husbandager, right. So I am the one that's super organized, and I pride myself on really, you know, emails. Hey, listen, you ever email Kenzie and Roman on a business thing or a TV? I'm the one that gets back to you, okay? Like, I'm really buttoned up in that situation. I don't know how this slipped through the cracks. I'm not convinced that it wasn't a 640 game maybe a few months ago and they changed it for TV.
That is
I'm not sure.
That is wild that you think it's so weird for you to mess up that, like, honestly, the Cubs must be the problem.
Yeah, I think they changed the game. I think it was an Apple TV Friday night game, and then somehow they said, no, we're not going to have it anymore. Let's do it during the day. I think that's whatever. But I did feel really bad. I'm really sorry about that. I want to apologize to you in front of all of our millions of listeners.
Oh, yeah, millions of listeners.
I do feel bad about that. It was my mistake. A real man owns his mistakes, and that was my bad. So I apologize for all the extra hoops you had to jump through. My bad.
That's like one of the first times you've ever apologized to me. I can count on one hand how many times you've apologized to me in 5 years.
I will follow it up by saying even Michael Jordan misses a shot once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how do you compliment yourself?
No, I'm saying
you just called yourself Michael Jordan.
I didn't.
You just gave yourself a compliment.
If you want to call me the Michael Jordan of organization, that's on you to say, not for me to say.
No one said that though. Like that. No one said it.
Well, anyways, I'm really, really excited about my birthday. Thank you so much. I don't know what this is yet, so I can't really tell you like, oh, we did X, Y, and Z. I do know we're going to the Cubs game during the day with the baby.
Sure are.
But I do want to reflect a little bit on two like really cool moments of my birthday that I can reflect on. One was without you, one was with you.
Oh.
When I was 30 years old, my parents and my family threw me a surprise party, and it's really hard to surprise me to like, you know, whatever, because I'm pretty like buttoned up and everything, but they did surprise the hell out of me. We had a birthday party a surprise party at Dave & Buster's in Addison. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing about it is I was kind of a punk because we were going somewhere else. Like we're like the whole, like my mom was like, yeah, we're going to have dinner, you know, me, dad, Dana, like, you know, we're going to have dinner at like whatever, my favorite restaurant, whatever it was back when I was 30. And then like the day of, she called me. She's like, hey, you know, I forget the reason she gave me, but we're going to go to Dave & Buster's instead because of like this. Yeah. And I'm like, but why? Like, you know, I'd rather go to this restaurant, you know? I guess I didn't handle it awesome, but now you're not
a pain in the ass at all.
I do realize, you know, she had to divert me a little bit, right? So yes. This is kind of funny. So my 30th surprise party was at Dave & Buster's. My whole family was there, all my friends. It was really, really, really cool. A great moment. You know, they had my mom had made like the cardboard pictures, which by the way, you have at funerals normally, you know, like all the pictures of stuff. The more I think about it, it was like like 3 or 4 cardboard.
Somebody watched it like Roman died.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was like a funeral. It was actually like, it was the death of my 20s, so I guess it was a funeral.
Oh, that's kind of a fun theme.
Yeah, that is a fun theme. I made that up.
That's fun.
Well, anyway, so they had a bunch of like, you know, all the pictures of me as a kid, baby, kid, teenage, all that stuff. Really, really cool. All my friends and family were there. But the funny thing is that I was running late. Shocker. I was living in the city. I was in the West Loop, and Addison is like the suburbs. So I was running late for my own birthday dinner, I thought. So I was driving. I had an Infiniti back then, really cool black Infiniti coupe or whatever. And I raced in the parking lot, and I parked, and I ran inside, and then surprise, you know, oh my God, I was so moved. I was so touched. It was awesome. And I had a great, great, great night. Well, hours go by, maybe 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 hours. By the time we load up everything, maybe not 4, but like whatever, hours go by. Load up all my presents, you know, say goodbye to everybody, loading it into my car. I go to load it into my car. My car was still running. My Infiniti was still running. 3 or 4 hours of my car just running in the parking lot. Somebody could have stole it at any moment. And that
so the seats were warm.
Oh, it was, yeah, well,
that's nice.
Yeah, it was very nice. Well, it was also May 17th. It wasn't like it was like winter.
But it's still a bit nipply out tonight.
Yeah, it gets a little nipply. But yeah, so that was kind of funny. It was a great surprise party. I was something that stuck out for me forever. But yeah, my car was running the entire time. How funny was that? The second thing you were a part of, because you took me 2 years ago on a surprise birthday trip to Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
That was the best present I've ever had in my life. You know that. Come on, I told you. I was very thankful. I had been to Nashville one time when I was in college. Mm-hmm. Don't laugh, but I was in choir in college because of my major. I majored in music business. I had to be in like something, and like my voice was my instrument. So I was in like choir. Shout out to Sue Moniger from Elmhurst College. She was like my second mom. I love her. But she was our choir director, and so we took like a college trip to Nashville, Tennessee. But it wasn't like Nashville. We weren't going to bars. We weren't going to honky tonks. We weren't going to concerts. We got to perform at like Belmont University. Like we got to perform at like one of their schools. Yeah, like it was, and we visited a little bit of like some of the old school Music Row, like just because whatever, but like it wasn't Nashville. So I had never really been to Nashville. And mind you, I was the morning show of the country station here in Chicago for 3 years. So I was like Mr. Country, and I'd never been to Nashville, even though I love country music. So you heard that, knew about it, and surprised me with like the best trip ever. You printed out an itinerary of like the coolest things we could ever do. And we did the Country Music Hall of Fame. We did the Grand Ole Opry. We did the Ryman, like all the tours. What else? Amazing restaurants.
Studio B.
Where Elvis performed or recorded.
The Hat Show print shop. We made like the old school flyers.
Yeah.
That trip was so planned out because we flew in Friday and flew out Sunday. And it was 3 full days though. Yeah. Because we landed so early. We like got breakfast Friday when we landed. Like that's how planned out it was. I actually had naps on the itinerary. Do you remember? Where we could sleep before we continued because it was a booked and busy day.
It was awesome. It was literally the best trip or best present I've ever been on in my entire life. But the more I'm talking about it, I do remember this. You know, a couple episodes ago, we told you how Kenzie got deathly sick at our wedding. Like our wedding week, she was like really sick, even the day of our wedding. Well, my birthday trip in Nashville a couple years ago,
which I had planned for 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. So, I forget, was it actually on my birthday or whatever? Like
it was the weekend before.
Okay, right.
Because I wanted to throw you off, and because yours is so close to Tristan's.
That's true. Okay, right.
I couldn't be gone for Tristan's, of course.
So one of the amazing days, you know, packed Opry, Ryman, tours, studio, whatever, dinners. We're at dinner at a very, very fancy place called, what was it called? House of Cards.
House of Cards.
House of Cards.
Yep.
And then, you know, I'm not a big drinker at all, and you aren't really either, but and normally I'm kind of like a homebody, like after dinner, a real nice dinner, real nice day, let's go back to the hotel or back to our house.
We like to cuddle.
Yeah, you know, we made Marino. No, I'm kidding.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, so like, you know, I'm more of that. But like, this was a great day. I was feeling energized, and I'm like, babe, let's go check out some honky tonks. Let's go, like, I'm in like full country mode. Like, let's go.
Like, oh wow, I didn't think you'd want to go party.
Yeah, let's go to Tootsie's and like all these like So and you were like, okay, cool. What I didn't know is tell them how you were feeling.
I was deathly sick, and I had left the table twice to go throw up in the bathroom.
You threw up in the bathroom
twice
during our dinner. Yeah.
Twice during our dinner.
I had no idea. I was oblivious.
And I was thinking to myself, because I did not want to ruin it. I'd spent 2 years planning it. I'm like, we're not sitting in the hotel. I had taken insane amounts of medicine, and unhealthy, not recommended amount. I was like, give me drugs. I was doing it all day. I don't even know if you noticed how much medicine I was taking just to make it through the days. And I was rallying. For you. And we're at dinner, and I'm throwing up in the bathroom, coming back like, woo-hoo, you know, I'm not that hungry. I just feel good. And then I threw up again. Threw up again.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, you know what? It's fine. Because like, I just got to get through dinner. Because what I said to myself is, he never wants to go out. Yeah, it's not like he's going to want to go out and drink.
Those days are over for me.
As long as I make it through dinner, we'll be back at our hotel, and I can just rest, and I can just have the cold sweats all night. And then he goes, I'm feeling awesome. This is the best trip of my life. And we're going to honky tonk.
I knew one of the DJs, Dirty Darren, was mixing at like one of the country bars.
A DJ.
And I'm like, yeah, my boy Darren's over there. I'm going to say.
I'm like, that's fantastic. And it's some of the best news I'd ever heard. And I continued to throw up at several of the bars. And you had no idea. I never told you until we came home.
We're walking home.
Oh, did I tell you when we were walking home?
Yeah, we were walking home because it was like probably 2 a.m. now, and walking down like whatever, Broadway Street or whatever. And you're like, can I tell you something? I'm like, what? You're like, I've been throwing up like 5 times a day. I'm like, what? You're like, yeah, I'm like deathly sick. I'm like, oh my God. I felt horrible. Had you told me, we would have not gone out after dinner.
But that's why I didn't tell you.
Yeah.
We were in Nashville. It's not like we were in Nashville for a week and I'd be like, let's go out a different night.
Yeah.
Like we had this small amount of time.
I was feeling great. Like I was like,
you were.
I was healthy.
I've actually never seen you like this. It was unbelievable.
I had never been so healthy in my entire life that night.
You radiated.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, you did not. So that's unfortunate.
What a bummer.
The funny thing is you assuming that I didn't want to go out after dinner. I felt the same way about this birthday plan after the Friday night game where I thought at Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
You were like, yeah, we'll go out afterwards. And I'm like, I kind of want to get back home. Like, I already thought, a game is like 3 hours, like a Cubs game, if it's a 6:40 game, goes to about 10 o'clock. Like, we have an hour drive home. I'm like, at that point, I'm ready to go home, but you were more excited about going out afterwards.
I'm like, no, we have a babysitter, because we haven't, honestly, like, we haven't even got to get like a rooftop drink all year, because we go with the baby, which is totally fine. That's the stage of our life. And, eventually we'll go to Summit. So it's like, if we already have a babysitter and it's your birthday, and if you normally get a babysitter during the day, you do want to get home because you're like, okay, like, we haven't seen the baby's up.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, he's already going to be asleep. He's going to be asleep almost by the time the game starts.
When the baby is sleeping, you just don't feel guilty at all because he's sleeping, and it's like,
right.
Whatever,
So it's like, okay, they're here watching a movie. We're going to order them food. Like, this will be totally fine. So I was like, this is the time to rally, bitch. Yeah. We're gonna do it.
Again, I'm so glad that this birthday episode will be explicit. Thanks to my beautiful wife, Kenzie.
Does bitch make it explicit?
Yeah, yes.
Oh.
What do you think?
Well, you can say bitch on the radio.
It's a curse word. I mean,
it's like a soft curse word.
Okay.
Like a lowercase b.
Anyway, so
can I ask you a question about you?
My 30th birthday, and then this Nashville trip a couple years ago that you did. Those were my two like most memorable birthdays that I want to thank you for being part of half of them. And I'm sure that this weekend will be just as good as all those other ones.
Yes, it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna have a blast.
And I apologize one last time for messing up the time of the game if it was truly my fault.
You know what? I have so much time on my hands. I'm not doing anything, so it really doesn't matter.
All right, you had a question. Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to ask you, because you're turning a year older, what is like your biggest goal for the upcoming year of your life?
Wow, that's a great question.
I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this.
You didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't.
So you have to think about it live on the podcast.
No, I already know. I mean, I know.
Oh, really?
It's time for me to get back into what I do best, and that is radio and TV. So I think that this year, here's the deal. I have been very, very lucky and very blessed in my life to be in a situation where when COVID hit, I was able to be home with Tristan and be like literally a full-time dad, and during that really weird time of like kids weren't going to school, they were remote. Since you already cursed, I worked my ass off for 15 years. Longer, but like in media for 15 years. I mean, I was working on radio. I was doing my music group, Joan Smokers, traveling around the world, touring with Pitbull and Enrique. I was working for the Chicago Bulls. I had investing in bars. I was busting my ass for 15 years in media. And finally, I had to take a break. I had to breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like I did feel like I was running myself a little thin. And just it worked out where like, Styles and Roman, our time over at US 99 came to an end. And the Chicago Bulls, the NBA shut down.
COVID,
NBA shut down for 2 years. So as the host of the fans, when there's no fans, there's no host. So my point is I took a well-needed break, and I feel like a well-deserved break. And I'm really, really thankful for that time. I'm thankful that I was in a position to be able to do that because a lot of people can't do that, and I don't take it for granted at all. But I was there for Tristan in a very pivotal time in his life during COVID and during school and preschool, all that different stuff that he had to navigate. I was right there with him every step of the way. Obviously, I was with you as well, but you didn't. It wasn't like formidable years like it is for a kid going through kindergarten.
I was forming. What do you mean?
Okay. Tristan went through kindergarten, first grade, and part of second grade during COVID. You know what I'm saying? That's very, very important. And I was there, able to be there with him and make sure that was as normal as it could be. So to answer your question, I'm ready. I'm ready to get back out there. We have a lot of things that are up in the air right now. I really feel strong about this being the year that a couple of them come to fruition. I think that we have done the proper steps when it comes to Kenzie and Roman, which, by the way, was your idea.
There you go.
And it was a great idea at that. But I think that we've done, New Year's Eve on ABC 3 years in a row, thanks to, Justina and Ryan and Val and everyone who's welcomed us. We've done it 3 years in a row. As Kenzie and Roman, and thankfully part of this team won 2 Emmys, hopefully a third in a little bit. We launched our own TV show on the Marquee Sports Network, the MVP game, and 2 full seasons of that. And we're not done with that either. Radio wise, you have been flourishing doing mornings at Q101, but I'm a radio dude for 15 years here in Chicago, doing really big stuff, right? So there's a lot of talk, a lot of things that are going on right now from a TV standpoint, from a radio standpoint. So my goal for this this year of my life is I'm ready to get back out there, ready to start hustling again. I look at this as like the second chapter of my work life, and I'm ready for it. Whatever it is, I don't know exactly what that is today. I have a pretty good a couple hunches of what it will be, but like that is definitely what I think this year is going to bring me and our family is Roman getting back out there. That's it.
Okay, I like it. Now that is that's kind of like the workforce thing, right? Do you have anything with with the relationships in your life, or anything more on like a personal?
Oh, is that what you were looking for? Sorry.
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No, that was like I wanted to ask you more than one question.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
I'm doing a mini interview. You interviewed me last week.
Yeah.
So okay, there's like that because like for me, I talked about some of my personal goals were breastfeeding.
Yeah.
You know, for my birthday,
That's not my goal.
I wish it was. I wish you could step in.
Yeah.
No, so I love that. That's like your work goal. I had one of those too.
Yeah.
So it's your work goal and probably your overall biggest. It's your number one.
Yeah, right.
Now, is there any like personal goals that you have that are a little like more closer to the vest, if that makes sense?
Personal. I mean, I as a kid when I was in high school, this is such a weird thing for a high school boy to think about. But when I was in high school, I always thought I'd be married at 25 and I would want 2 kids in my life, right? When I turned 25, I was like, hell no, I'm not ready to get married.
Well, you were living with your mom and dad.
And I was touring the world like on my boy band era, right?
Yes.
So I was not ready to get married. But I eventually found the girl of my dreams. I'm glad I waited as long as I did to find Kenzie, because you have been the perfect match for me and perfect girl for me and perfect fit for me. So I'm glad I waited as long as I did. But I found, marriage, and I found my wife, and I'm very excited about that. I now have 2 kids, and I've made no secret about this. I'm thoroughly satisfied with these 2 kids. And I know if you've seen our dynamic, you know that she really wants a girl, and we are going to discuss that after Marino's a year old, okay? But when you say about personal goals, I truly am, as a family unit, fulfilled, right? I have my amazing, perfect wife, beautiful inside and out. I have Tristan, who is just like, he's my heart, because like, there was Tristan before there was you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was me and Tristan for a long time by ourselves, So that kid is very, very special to me. And Marino, who obviously is a newborn and can't do a lot of like stuff besides like, be a baby, but he's super, super cute. I love my time with him. I love feeding him. I love where he's comfortable enough where I can put him to sleep. Like there are a lot of really cool things that only going to get better. And by the way, even with Tristan as a newborn, every stage was better than the last. I mean, it's not like only Marino. Like, I'm thinking, I just know as a baby, it gets better when they're toddlers. And then it gets better when they're like, I feel like every stage is better than the last when it comes to kids. So my point is, when it comes to personal goals, I have my personal goals. I have, it didn't happen the way I thought. When I was a high school boy, obviously, I thought it would be wife, 2 kids, like, in that direction, right? It didn't happen that way for me, but the end result was better than I could have ever imagined. I have my wife, I have my 2 kids. Like, honestly, for me, my personal goal, I don't have any more from a family standpoint. This is my family, and I'm very, very proud of it. I love you guys. I think we have a perfect little unit. Well, Team Roman, I think we got a really cool thing going on. I know you maybe want one more down the road. That is not what I want, but you know what? We're going to talk about it in a little bit, and we're going to figure that out. We're going to navigate that. So from a personal goal standpoint, I really feel like I got everything I've ever wanted, man. I'm a simple guy. I'm not the kind of guy that's like, oh, I want a mansion and a Maserati, and I'm not that kind of guy. I got a perfect family, 2 kids, Cubs season tickets. We're all healthy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I got everything I could ever want. I'm really, really satisfied. I go back to the professional goals, and that's the one thing that I'm ready to tackle now, because that's the one thing I feel like I have left to accomplish, is like the second chapter of my career. I'm ready to tackle and conquer that. And I mean, I feel like I'm ready to like really, really bust through a wall with that. Like, whoever ends up signing us and or me when it comes to like radio or TV, they're going to get more than they ever bargained for, because we are going to crush it. So, but from a personal goal, I feel like I'm really, really satisfied and blessed. And I thank God every day for the blessings that I have.
Oh, that's good. I'm happy you feel that way.
Yeah.
Maybe you feel complete.
I do. I feel you complete me.
Is that what it is?
Marino completes me. Tristan completes me. Y'all complete me. All right. Any more questions, or are we good?
That's good.
Is that the Q&A is over?
Yeah, that's all. So like,
Sorry, I need some water. I was
well, if you had
answering.
said like, you know, I want to work on this, there may have been more questions, but you're like, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean,
In a roundabout way, in a longer way, you said, I'm good.
yeah, I mean, I'm family first. I always have been, you know, and I feel like right now my family is great and my family is good. I mean, I guess I could say from a personal goal standpoint, besides like something more shallow, is I really want to work out a lot more and a lot better than I have. I go through these stints of like, I'm really, you know, I'm great for a month and then I fall off. I'm great for 2 months in the winter and then I fall off, you know? I was great before Marino was born. I was killing it. I was so in the best shape of my life. And then we had Marino and I don't have time for myself to do that anymore, you know? And I haven't worked out in a while. So it's like, you know, I go through these stints. From a personal, like shallow, selfish goal, I really would like to just start working out consistently and harder than ever, and then keep doing it no matter how busy I am. If I'm super busy, get up earlier, you know. If I'm super busy, stay up later, whatever it is. I really want to just kill it, you know.
I was gonna say, with the baby, we do luck out because listen, he's always gonna have like off days because, you know, I mean, even Tristan wakes up earlier sometimes than normal and stuff like that. But for the most part, I would say on average, he gets up at like 7:20, which is kind of nice. Like, it's not like he gets up at 5 every morning, right? So you do have that opportunity if you ever wanted to, like, okay, fine, you could do it a little early. Like, it's feasible, you know?
I think also, though, I stay up later than when the kids go to bed because otherwise I can't do anything for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, this podcast you guys listening to, you know, me and Kenzie obviously are executive producers of it, you know, we're the co-hosts of it all. But like, I do all the technical stuff. I edit everything, the videos and like the uploads on the I do a lot of things from our business standpoint at night when the kids go to bed. And then to be honest, at that point, after I'm like just doing that then I'm tired and I want to go to bed. And I want to lay with you for a little bit. So, yeah, you're right. I thankfully that both of our kids do sleep well and they sleep good. But that's my point. It's a personal goal. Selfish. I want to work out better and more consistent than I ever have. I feel like as I'm getting older, I want to like kind of age in reverse. Where like I want to be in the best shape of my life at this age versus when I was even 25. You know, I really want to like. My mom makes fun of me all the time because I look at Mario Lopez and I'm like, dude, he's 50 years old and that dude is like ripped and like it looks like he's in great health and
it's like your man crush, she says.
But he's really not. I mean, like he isn't, except from the standpoint of like we're both Hispanic, and I feel like, you know, without bragging, I feel like we're both aging pretty well. But like he is that much better. Like he's ripped and he's you could tell he's like, you know, Mark Wahlberg, he's in amazing shape, and I think he's like 55. I mean, like, so I feel like age is nothing but a number anymore, and I truly want to kind of age in reverse, where I want to be in the best shape of my life, you know, this coming year versus when I was in my prime at 25 or whatever it was. So I guess if that answers one more of your questions, on a personal selfish goal tip, that's my goal is health and working out more.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Enough about me. Come on now. This is not only my birthday this weekend, it's my son's birthday, our son's birthday. Tristan will turn 10 years old on May 19th.
Double digits in the house? He'll never be single digit again. We've been talking about this.
Believe it. It is crazy. And you're going to recognize this with Marino. Because I feel like I blinked my eyes and like Tristan went from a baby to a 10-year-old. It really does happen really, really fast. There's a song by Kenny Chesney called "Don't Blink," and I understand it. I mean, literally, I cannot believe it will have been 10 years since Tristan was born. I remember so much like it was yesterday. Even today, we had baseball last night, so he was out. He was up late, and then I had to wake him up this morning about 8:15 because he has school. You know, like, dude, you got a big math test today and everything.
Let's go.
And because I have Marino now, and Marino's so small because he's a newborn. Yeah. I was waking up Tristan and I grabbed his foot. I'm like, Jesus, his foot is huge. You know, like
his shoes are bigger than mine. I saw him at the front door and I'm like, what shoe is this?
It's crazy. I mean,
he's got big old feet now.
Because before Marino, Tristan was my baby, right? And it's like I was kind of, my little guy. But like he's a big boy now especially compared to Marino.
He's almost as tall as me. He's like the size of me. We wear the same shoe size.
We went to the doctor for his checkup and he's 4'7". You're 5'2".
2.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is almost the size of me as a person. Yeah. It is crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if we got in a fight, if we got in a fist fight, it would be, we're the same size.
No, yeah. So, I mean, the fact that he's going to be 10 is mind blowing. I'm not going to get all emotional about it because it's an emotional thing. Like, you know, I don't want him to be 17. I don't want him to be 20. Like, I want him to be my little boy, you know? And so anyway, so the thing about Tristan right now is that what do you get a 10-year-old boy for his birthday? And the full disclosure, he kind of has everything already.
Well, and he's at the age where you're not a teenager. You're not getting teenage things, right. But you're not a kid. Right. Like, let's be, even right now, so 10 to 12, they consider preteen, right? And so I always think that this is one of the most awkward ages because they just aren't a kid. They don't want toys or action figures or like really Hot Wheels or anything like that. They kind of want to always be out with their friends. They crave these teenage things. They're already there. Like, that's what they want. But you're like, you shouldn't be alone there yet. You shouldn't do this. They're like on the cusp of they want this, but they need just a few more years. Yeah. And it is an awkward time to buy stuff because they don't want like little toys and things like that. And you default to video games and things like that.
So as a parent, I was very, very anti screen time, iPads, video games. Like me and Tristan, even before Kenzie was around, we were outside. We outside playing baseball, soccer, every sport you could think of. When we could be outside, we were outside. We live in a neighborhood that's got a pool. So summertime, we're at the pool every single day. Like I want my son to play outside with me, with his friends. Like I don't want him sitting around playing video games. So we didn't even get him a video game console until this past Christmas. So he's 9.5 years old.
And we have me to thank for that. I talked you
talked me into it.
I did.
Yeah, I wasn't about to do it. But you're like, come on, his other friends have it.
I know, and I'm like, you're not gonna beat up. Like you're at a level of like he needs to have some knowledge of technology and how to use it. He's probably gonna go to a sleepover. You don't want him like, how does this controller work? Yeah. Like he's gotta have some of it.
Yeah.
You know?
So we bought him a Nintendo Switch, and it's actually really, really cool. I didn't realize how cool it was. And it's really good timing because with a brand new baby, Marino, you know, Tristan, it's always been me and Tristan. So like now Marino needs my attention. So there are times when I need to go feed him in the morning or whatever it is. Tristan could pop on a baseball game or Fortnite or whatever it is on the Switch, and he's having a blast. Well, I'm allowed to kind of like have some time with my other son to like make sure he's okay. So the timing of it was really, really good. He didn't even have an iPad until the
Christmas before.
Yeah, so
it went iPad and then the following Christmas the Switch.
And the iPad, I only allowed him to do GarageBand for his music production situations and music games like Rock Band, but on the iPad.
Right.
Like so. And then Osmo, which is kind of like a learning thing, which is like really dope. And then he did ask me if he could do fantasy baseball last year. And who am I to say you can't do fantasy baseball?
You have all the what is it? Like concessions to your favorite things.
I'm like, okay.
That's it.
At first I said no. I go, God, he sees me do fantasy baseball all the time. And the fact that he wants to do it, I'm like, yeah, okay, go ahead, buddy. So.
I think that Tristan played your ass because what he did is he's like, how can I be on my iPad a lot?
Yeah.
And you're like, how about I do fantasy baseball? And then he would be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just watching baseball videos. I'm just doing that. Like he knew how to play you like a fiddle. But I do have to correct you on something because it's something that you say a lot.
What?
And it's wrong.
What?
You keep saying, it was me and Tristan, and it was me and Tristan, and it was me and Tristan. And maybe it's because time's gone so fast for you, but you, I think, almost forget that I came into his life between 4 and 5. And he's turning 10.
Right, but
it was me and
Tristan. It was me and Tristan from 0 to 5.
Okay, but not 0 to 5.
And you met him. Okay, hold on. You met him between 4 and 5. You didn't move in here until he was for
5.
sure 5.
5.
Okay, so
but we've been a family now for literally over half of Tristan's life. Mm-hmm. It's been a unit of 3. And not over half his life, like he was 20 and now he's 40. Okay, so it's like, you know, for little kids, like, I think you forget how long we've been a family of 3.
I don't forget, but I think, you know, you may forget that I was a single dad for a long time. I mean, like, I really did it all myself. So there is a special bond that I have with him because it was just me and him. Okay, fine. Yes, you did meet him early on. You did move in when he was 5 plus or whatever. But end of the day, okay, so half of his life, it was just me and him. And now half of his life, it was us 3. And now 3 months of his life, it was us 4. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm not wrong. I mean, you're not wrong either, but it really was for a while, me and him. And now this is us, right? So anyways, let's get to the point of what I'm trying to say here, which is like gifts. It's hard to get a 10-year-old a gift. Now, if you're checking out this podcast and it's before Sunday, May 19th, don't you dare tell Tristan what he's getting for his birthday. But we think we found the perfect situation. So 2 years ago, I found some kids were having these gizmo watches. Mm-hmm. And it's through Verizon Wireless. It's kind of like a kitty Apple Watch is kind of what it's like, right? And he can make phone calls to like me, to Kenzie, to Nana, to his mom. Always, he can make phone calls and he can text with me through like voice notes or whatever. But no one else can get a hold. I control everything through the app. So it's a very safe thing, and it's a GPS. So when he's with his mom on the weekends, because she lives in Indiana, when he's out with her, I can always keep tabs on where Tristan is. Okay, so he was so excited because his cousins had it, some friends had it. Okay, so the Gizmo Watch 2 years ago, it was a win, right? Well, he really wants an iPhone, and no, thank you, my son's not getting an iPhone. Period. Like, he's too young. So me and you were going back and forth about what we're gonna get him, and finally, both his cousins now have Apple Watches. Actually, his oldest cousin has an iPhone, but sorry, not gonna do it.
We're not doing that.
And I was back and forth on the Apple Watch, but also the Gizmo Watch that he has and he's had for 2 years is becoming too like baby for him. Right? Like he's kind of more embarrassed to wear it because it's like not an Apple Watch.
Right. Most of the people now have the advanced one, so his watch looks very young.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I broke down and I came to you a couple days ago and I was like, I just think the perfect gift to get Tristan right now at his age of almost 10, well, he'll be 10 on Sunday, is to get him an Apple Watch. And you were kind of not really sure about it, but we both at the end of the day agreed that actually is the best gift.
It's a big thing. Like the Gizmo watches are like kind of more kid proof, if that makes sense. And we're going to have a conversation with him. Tristan doesn't necessarily have a lot of responsibility in his life. He doesn't like do chores or do this or maintain things. Like he's not even great about charging his Gizmo Watch. So this is an expensive, nice item. This isn't like, oh, whoops, I accidentally threw it down here or did this or I left it somewhere. He's a little forgetful. So it's like, okay, if we're stepping into that arena, but now we're gonna have a conversation about responsibility with it, to use it right, to even the Gizmo Watch blocks like certain language and stuff like that. So it's like this is gonna be one of his first doses of responsibility and something that, as great as it is, he could also get in trouble for too if he uses it irresponsibly, right?
And I don't know if you know, but there's actually a thing called family sharing. So I'm gonna have controls over who has his number and who can call him, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like the Gizmo Watch for Apple Watch with kids, but like I didn't realize that. That's kind of cool. So I can still control. He can only talk to you. I can list who he talks to. But we decided, he's 10 years old, and that's a really good next step from a safety standpoint. He can call us whenever he wants, and now he's not as restricted. He can actually call more of his family.
Right. Because the Gizmo had, 10 contact limit?
I think it was 10 contacts.
So it had a limit because it was a smaller device. So this is obviously like more like a mini phone.
Yeah, Tristan's got a big family. He's got obviously us two. Marino can't call yet. But,
exactly. Marino's not getting a phone, in case you're wondering.
He's got a couple of cousins on our side. My sister, brother-in-law, Nana.
We have a big family.
Yeah, even your parents can have his number and talk after a baseball game or something,
Yeah, send him a picture of something.
Yeah, you get pictures, right? Because the Gizmo Watch, you can't get pictures. Like, it's definitely a great next step because I'm not ready for him to have an iPhone. And to be honest, I don't even know what age that is.
I would honestly say for us to really talk about it, I probably wouldn't do it till he's 13 at least.
13.
Because you're an official teenager. He'll probably be like, I want to go to the movie. I want to get dropped off to the movies. Yeah. I'm going to go to a football game on a Friday. That's when you start to enter that territory. And it's like, okay, a real phone, even more from a safety aspect. Yeah. But I can honestly say when I got a phone, even though I was old enough, like I was in the 13 range, it like ruined a lot of stuff for me. I don't want him. It's not you're too young and you're not responsible. It's not that. It's, now kids can write you mean text messages. Now you can go online and see something that makes you sad. Like it comes with a lot of other stuff that sometimes you don't think about. And I do like that right now he can leave school, which he really enjoys it, but you can leave school and it doesn't follow you home. And once you have a phone, all of it can follow you home. Yeah. And I just think that like he should enjoy the break. Well, he can. Yeah,
and also I don't want him to have, excuse me, certain apps or anything. I don't want him to have a Snapchat or whatever kids doing. I feel like, and it almost shows you why Apple is genius because like they created this thing that's like in between kiddie stuff and like a real phone. Like the Apple Watch is actually I have one. I bought you one for your birthday. You never wear ever.
I wore it for a long time, but it kept sending text messages to people when I was talking. Yeah. Which did not bode well for me a few times.
So so that was a waste. But anyway, so ultimately, it's the perfect like thing for him, and we're very, very excited about it. So yeah, again, if you're checking out this podcast before May 19th and you see Tristan somewhere, do not tell him what his gift is, because I'll be very, very upset, because he's gonna be really excited.
Yes, I think he's thinking that he's not getting one.
Yeah.
So it'll be very fun.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. So there you go. The birthday weekend, the birthday boys. And if you're listening today or even Friday, May 17th, the Cubs game is not a night game. It is an afternoon game at 1:20 p.m. No matter what you may have heard or seen in the past, it is an afternoon game.
Well, because obviously there was a misprint somewhere.
So happy birthday to Tristan. I love you, kiddo.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. And thank you for in advance for, I'm sure, what's going to be a phenomenal birthday surprise. And the only thing else I ask is that maybe the Cubs could actually win this game on my birthday.
That I have no control over.
That would be that would be perfect. You know, we're at the game, Cubs win, and all is right with the world. So thank you for checking us out every Thursday, brand new episodes, and thank you for watching on YouTube with my stupid tan lines that I have from being a baseball dad every single weekend. And yeah, it's been I'm very, very blessed, and I want to thank everybody for showing us so much love throughout my entire career, but specifically now with me and Kenzie. It's been really, really cool. I don't take it for granted. So yeah, happy birthday to Tristan, to me, anybody else who's a Taurus, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Woo.
And do not
when you're a year older.
But still, I'm aging in reverse.
No.
Don't forget, you cannot spell romance without Roman.